Welcome to the Machine Divination channel again. I recently completed another robot reading. This is with a non-autonomous robot with non-human-like proportions. It's an industrial robot. And I did a total of 6 cards in the reading. The first 2 cards are for the symbolism. I'm asking the oracle to give me symbolism to help me determine what's going on and leading me to the problem. And the first card that came up was the Emperor Upright. And like I said, the Emperor is the granddaddy of machine divination, especially with a non-autonomous robot. It's going to tell you the problems in the robot. So right off the bat, we know that probably the problem's inside the robot. The next card that came up was the Wheel of Fortune reversed. I talked about this earlier in the intro video. The Wheel of Fortune reversed will usually point you to a rotating part that's defective. The next card was part of a pair of where I was looking just at the straight meaning of the cards like you would look at when you do a regular tarot card reading. So the next 2 cards are just meaning only, and the first card is the Justice card reversed, and I believe that this was indicating the problem was probably caused by someone in a hurry who did some sort of installation without sophistication. So I think it's giving me a hint about workmanship, and I'll tell you why soon here. The next card is also a meaning card, the second one of the pair for looking for meanings. That was the Eight of Wands up, and basically that's a card of haste and lack of having enough time to do a task. The fifth card is the Six of Wands up. This was a locator card, and since this robot is so unlike the human body in its proportions, I just set up a grid and I use the astrological deacons. So however tall the robot is, I divide it by 30. I divide it into 36 parts, 1 for each deacon. Well, I got the Six of Wands up, and it turned out that this was pointing to the problem within about 4 inches, and we're talking about an 11 or 12 foot robot. And it was pointing within about 4 inches of the problem, which is pretty good when you think about it, especially when you're not doing something, you're not reading something in the proportions of the human body. It's not too bad. The last thing I did was a card for the analog of the bioenergetic. So you're drawing up a comparative with the robot's body compared to a human's body. So what would be that affinity or analog of, say, the human brain? It would be, for example, a CPU in the machine, right? So that's just a simple example to make you see what I'm talking about there when I say affinity of bioenergetic or analog of bioenergetic, to draw up the comparative. Anyway, I've got the Sun card upright, and I think this is trying to talk about drive, pushing forward, and strenuous effort. And it turned out when I got inside the robot, it turned out to be a squeaky pulley wheel that wasn't installed right. It was kind of running on the pulley wheel wrong, it was on an angle, and it was making noise. And I found out later from the person who I happen to know personally, and they told me they didn't have a lot of time when they did the installation. They were kind of in a hurry, and they did the best they could with the time they had, and they were new at that time, and they kind of made a mistake because some of it was inexperience, some of it was they were in a hurry. So basically, in summary, the cards basically said that the workmanship was kind of poor leading up to this noisy pulley. It was a spinning device like the reverse Wheel of Fortune indicated. It was inside the machine like the Emperor card predicted, and the locator was fairly accurate, within about 4 inches of the problem. Not perfect, but pretty accurate. And the cards referring to haste or lack of time, the 8 of Wands up, and the Justice reverse were correct after talking to the tech, who was just starting out and was kind of pressed for time. They were doing other tasks, and this was kind of thrown at them at the last minute. So it was a pretty interesting reading. I just wanted to share that with you. More to come in the future. Thank you.